Welcome to the Black Mental Health Forum, a dedicated space for fostering meaningful conversations, support, and resources around mental health within the Black community. Our forums aim to break down the barriers of silence and stigma, providing a platform for open dialogue, shared experiences, and valuable insights. Whether you're seeking guidance, resources, or simply want to engage in a supportive community, you're in the right place. Together, let's nurture a culture of understanding, compassion, and empowerment. Thank you for joining us on this journey towards mental health well being. Good afternoon. This is Carolyn J. And today we have a crucial Black Mental Health Forum episode: Men, Money, and Mental Health. Today, we're diving deep into the intersection of financial well being and mental wellness, a conversation long overdue, but essential for men everywhere. I'm thrilled to introduce our esteemed presenter, Mr. Don McLemore, Executive Wealth Strategist of Revolution Financial Management, who will guide us through this transformative discussion. It's up to you.
How you doing? I'm pleasure. I'm happy to be here anyway. So wealth of knowledge, but more so I know the topic they go hand in hand. A lot of stress usually deals with the dinero in or not in our pockets. So or as what the we used to say in our community, either coins or ends in your pockets, right? So no, I'm just here. I'm here to add value. I've got the pleasure to meeting Miss Murphy and her mission of giving back, and it's a topic that I know a lot of us aren't more so happy or open to talk about based off what we think it is, but realistically, when it comes to asking for help or seeking guidance is of coming from a position of strength. There's nothing wrong with asking for guidance of folks that have been through the position that you're in or have helped some people in the same position that you're in get out of it. So the cheat code in life is coaching and mentorship. Someone's already been through the path that you've been through before and they know how to get you out of it. They know how to more so give you the things that you need. So today, so I'm more so I'm an open book. So I'm gonna ask them. So Karen, so whatever you want to talk about, I can go off the cliff of the hip. We can talk about some questions that you sent out. I'm just more so here to participate and add as much value in our time allotted today. So I'm ready to go however you want to go. So I'm flexible. So we cool. So I got the questions pulled up. Some of the things that you sent me that you want me to address today, but I'll just follow your pace and your lead. Just since I'm joining as a guest today. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, the first question is, how does financial stress impact the mental health, especially for men?
In every capacity. Depends on everyone's situation, but obviously for men is more so. Let me put myself back in the position when money was stressed. So when you don't when you didn't when I didn't have money, it was more so it's on your top of your mind every day because every decision is determined about it. All right, cool. I go to the gas station, you put it in there. Okay, cool. Hope my car don't get declined. So you're not just pumping gas. You're thinking about, am I gonna have enough money to pump the gas? But then also too to have enough money to go to the job to make money or to an interview to get or the grocery store back. It's just constant. This you just can't live life because every thought is negative about money. But then also too, we haven't been given the playbook to money, so we are already stressed out because we don't know what to do with it. So the main thing when it comes to that, the number one reason for stress and also disease, it all ties back to finances. Stress leads to most of the diseases that we have in our community. For example, Black community, what's number one common? Blood pressure, heart disease comes from stress. Stress comes from situational that we've all been going through. We all gonna go through as a people. They ask people, I love being Black, but it's hard, but it's fun at the same time too. So the main thing when it comes to you guys is just when it's the stress, it's having a game plan. You just got to hit it dead head on. You know what you need to do. If you're not in the situation you need to do, you have a game plan. The best thing I would ask is more so getting access to resources. When our tire breaks down, we go to the local car shop mechanic. Something doesn't feel right medically, A lot of men, if it's just talking about men, go to the doctor, but we don't go to the doctor. When we ask somebody, we say, oh, I'll be all right. We go to professionals for everybody, for everything else. But when it comes to money, we don't go to the money doctor. Now, a couple of reasons why. One, we don't probably know anybody that, one, a lot of us like to deal with people that look like us and talk like us and that understand us. There's not a lot of folks in my space that do what I do. So that's one reason why I got in it, to get somebody like to understand, hey, I know where you come from. I know how things you do with it. Like, I can help you. I'll get out of that. But that's the main thing, is one, going and seeking the help. You got to have professional help to do it. You can't physically be in the problem and think you can get yourself out of it. There's resources to do that. There's a lot of resources when in mental health to help you do that as well. So that's a long answer and a lot of value on that. We'll cover a lot in our time today, but we can break it down even deeper as we need to be.
And you can continue. You can continue.
So from one aspect, from financial side, like Carolyn, like, what's some things that you've heard in your profession when it comes to money and things like that? And I can break it down from that aspect. Have you heard concerns when it comes to financials about that? I just want to see what you've heard versus, obviously I've been doing it for 12 years. So I have clients all over the country. It's comes down, most of the time it comes on the same thing. But I just want to hear as a professional what you're hearing on your side, because you're dealing on the mental side. I'm more so stem from solving the problem, but I don't get too deep of it unless they open up to me on that aspect.
The only thing that I can think of, and this is even coming from me, is
Mhm.
I don't know how to deal with money. I'm not a good steward over money. Then it's too hard. Our priorities are not the way that, well, we we prioritize things instead of investing. So investing, I don't know how to invest. I don't want to, so you get it.
No, you just about to open an hour conversation about just what you just said right then and there. So I hope you, because I'm about to go. I understand what she's saying and what you're saying about it's hard. A lot of people say, okay, money is hard. But then the main thing that you really said is we prioritize things, or we don't one is not a priority. Our community, we prioritize assets, we procrastinate. I mean, we procrastinate. I mean, we prioritize liabilities, we procrastinate assets. We'll quickly go spend some money and go buy something that don't make us no money. But when it comes about saving and building credit and all that, I get to it. Well, I'm in survival mode. I'm just trying to get from Friday to Monday to Monday to Friday. But then when it's like, well, money, when people say, oh, Donnie's money hard, I don't understand it. I was like, money is its own language. I get it. But when they say it's hard, it really isn't. Because if you ask anybody that's played Monopoly, played dominoes, played spades, tunk, backgammon, the same process it takes to learn that, and then today for the younger folks that are betting on sports and learning the figures, it's the same thing to learn money. Money's not that hard. You just made it hard because you had to make it a priority. For the most part, and some people on here and some people that will listen to this probably don't drive gasoline cars. But if you give money to the gas company or the gasoline, why don't you have no ownership in the gas station that you're pumping 2-3 times every single week? And then when you go to the gas station, you see other cars. Well, if I had ownership in Exxon, I know millions of people buying pumps. So every quarter, Exxon is going to send me money back. Every month, I have a phone bill. So if I give Verizon $100 every month, I know my neighbors are giving me $100. I'm going to get a return on that. So my philosophy when I sit down and teach clients how to think money is, one, it's got to be a priority. But now you got to start treating your household as a business. That's the only way you're going to treat it and understand it and look at and treat every dollar like it's gold. When you're just more so money's coming in, money's going out. I give Uncle Sam their money. I give my utilities their stuff. Oh, I want to go buy something. Then you look up, oh, I don't have anything to save. It's having a game plan. Everybody makes. What's funny is, if there's a study put out, people spend more time in their lifetime planning vacations from A to Z, their outfits and all that, than how to get wealthy. You Google the best flights, you Google what outfits, what are places to go eat, you review the reviews, but then you don't know how your 401k works. You don't know how to build credit. You don't understand how the bank is using your money to make money off of you. But I guarantee you know all the spots to go to, all inclusive, where to get flights, what dresses and stuff like that, or what outfits. Another thing in the Black community, I totally can't. I'm gonna hit all the points right now. People are gonna be waking up from this. We have more money in our closets than our pockets. And I hit our fellas every time with this. I'm like, how many pairs of Jordans you got? Oh man, I got 50. I was like, cool. So you have 50 shares of Nike then? And I hear silence. How you gonna give them $200 50 times, but you only have one share of Nike? Knowing everybody else is buying J's too. The philosophy is that's one thing. But then also too, you look at all of the Gucci and Louis and all that, that's the number one, that's the richest billionaire in the world. Everybody got all that stimmy money and went right up, right back to them. And I'm gonna get real deep. And some people may get mad at me. How dare he say this? And then when you take your emotions out of the statement I'm about to say and really articulate it, then you'll be like, he makes a great point. We hear in our community all the time, man, they need to give us reparations and all that stuff for everything that we did and went through. I'm like, I understand. I agree. Yeah, we built it. Boom. You got to look at their perspective from this. We're going to give them reparations. We're going to raise taxes on ourselves. And the money's going to come right back to us. So if anybody wants to know the conversation about why don't they give reparations, why would they increase taxes on themselves to give us money? Because we deserve it. I understand it. I'm about it too. Because there's a whole lineage that had to go through a lot of SHIT to get to where I am today. But from the concept point, if we take it like, why would we give out 400 million or whatever million, billions of dollars, trillions of dollars to the community just to raise our taxes, knowing that they're going to spend all the money in our communities versus their own? So then when you want to know why there's hesitancy to do that, I kind of just gave you the plug. They gave it to everyone. Well, they gave money to the Japanese. What do Japanese do? They buy businesses and spend money with each other. So now, boom, they're self-reliant. Well, the Jewish folks and all that stuff, Jewish folks do business with each other. When we get paid, the money circulates in our community for about 14 hours, and then it's gone. Every other community is about 7 to 14 days. It circulates every other business. So then you want to know why other businesses, other cultures have business in our community? They know they're going to get the money. And then they circulate, do business with each other. They spend money in their banks. So I'm breaking up everything. What's the mental challenge? Because if you look in our communities, what's so overwhelming developed in our communities? Quick loans, liquor stores, payday loans, Dollar Trees. You go 50 minutes or 20, 40 minutes to the north or the east or west. Got Gelson's, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, bike paths, water parks, all that stuff. Great scenery. You can go jog in the morning, jog at night. You're also you're peep to your environment. So the mental health thing and the financial thing, along with just living and then everything else on top of it, we don't have access to capital. We don't. Because if you look at that, every good neighborhood has three things. They have money in their schools. They have job opportunities. And they have access to healthy food. That right then and there. So if our kids have good money in their schools to get teaching, to get resources, but also get teachers that look like them as well. If you look at the scores of our children, that doesn't matter. The teacher that cares and give a darn about them is going to succeed anyways. But if you have someone that looks like you teaching in a class, our scores are typically significantly higher than when they're not. And it shouldn't be anyways, but it's just a different way you do to relate and articulate a message when someone understands your background and what you're going through, so they know how to supplement and give you the resources you need. So that's schooling. Food, we talk about mental health. If you're stressed and you're eating poor quality food, your body's breaking down quicker than anything else. And then if you don't have access to great health care because of financials, so then you're not getting your regular checkups. But then also too, when something goes wrong, you're not getting the best care. You're just getting the patch up. Then you see why stroke, cancer, heart attack, diabetes, prostate cancer is eating our community up. We don't eat proper diets because we eat most of the food in our community is not healthy food. It's quick food, it's junk food. I know we like soul food and stuff like that. You can make it healthy. Make it at home. We too lazy. I ain't got time to make it at home. Well, also when you're a doctor, don't tell them you didn't have no time, you didn't make no food. When that bill come in, see, everything has consequences. Every decision. So when you look at it for financials, is a teller, it's a report card. That's all it is. But then also the mental, if you add the mental aspect on it, Carolyn, whew, here's a quote. If you want to understand finance and mental, what it can do to someone, when we're born, we were born looking like our parents. We die looking like our decisions. Simple as that. Because the decisions is a choice no matter what, good, bad, and indifference. You still made that choice to go through with that. Whether it was an educated decision or an uneducated decision. You made that choice and you have to deal with the consequences. Today they like to call consequences canceling. No, you just got to deal with your choices. No one's getting canceled. You made a bad decision. You don't like the response to your decision. You got to deal with the outcome. Simple as that. So we can keep going, but I don't want to keep going to that deep but I just gave y'all some points. The simple way is this: if you spend money somewhere every single month, have ownership. If I give you money, you giving me a return every quarter off your profits. So if you shop at Kroger or Costco or wherever you shop at and you give them money every single month, have ownership. If you're renting an apartment, look up who owns the apartment building, because everybody pays their money on their rent on the first. Figure out who owns that building. If I'm giving you $1,000 or $2,000 a month for rent, I'm going to have some ownership in the company from some shares and get some of my money back. This is simple. If I do business with you, I have ownership. I own you. If I spend my money, this is we can do this, we can save this for the end for the financial side, but I just want you to write this note if you're going to take notes or if you watch this later. I want you to have the mindset, every dollar I spend, I get a return. We need to go from a consumer-based community to an investing, equity-based community. That we don't compete against each other, we collab with each other. We got, you hear that phrase, we got, men, because it's a men topic. Every time we see this, we do the nod because we know if anything go down, me and you, we boom. Women, sisters, y'all collab better than we do as men. But a lot of times we prefer gossip and drama than collaboration, and that needs to change.
This is a heavy topic, and I don't know what to say. It's just someone, and see, my thing is, where you're talking about is when your money is, how do you say it? When you have your budget, your bills are paid, and you're starting to get into what you're saying, ownership and investing. But most of us are not there. So for someone, I know this is an individual thing. You say you go in and you help that family. You start where they are. But a lot of us are just completely in debt, underpaid, have more month and bills than money. Where do you start off with where do you start off with something like that?
Mindset. I didn't have money either. I saw my mom and my dad lose everything. I'm gonna give you the perspective where I came from. So 16 was 2000. I was 16 years old at 2007. I just aged myself. Somebody's like, man, he's young. Okay, he well above his age for knowledge. So all of us lived through 2008 for the most part. For some of us that you watch this later, you lived in 2008. Somebody lost money that you lost a home, lost money, or lost a job. In 30 days, I lost a parent to heart attack, 2 incomes, had to relocate, college fund paid for the funeral, 401k got to get cash out for us to live. 16, I don't know what's going on. When you get a little bit older, I just know all H's break loose, right? And then you go to school and you see your friends or your classmates crying. It's like, we're going to lose our house. You don't know what's going on. You just know bad things are going around. Everybody's in a bad state. Then, you go to college. I was a baseball player and then trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Then I couldn't play anymore. And then at the time, 2010, 2012, you had to basically get your bachelor's and your master's to get an entry-level job. The master's was equivalent to experience. So a lot of my peers were going to do that, and I just did the math, what most people don't do. I'm like, all right, I'm 20, 21. I'm living in Los Angeles. If I'm about to rack up 130 grand in debt to be living at $50,000 a year, and then I haven't even calculated the two dirty words out here in Los Angeles, which is rent and rent and gasoline. The two most expensive things that everybody jokes about. Man, y'all gas and everything's so high. I know it's 80 and sunny every day. That's a great. I'll make that trade every day. Other people's like, well, I can't do that. For me, I just did the math. Why? So I've already seen the movie twice. And Carolyn, I apologize again. I'm gonna get real deep in a second. But our people need to hear it. They need a tough medicine. We don't like the tough medicine, but this is the mindset part. Once I figured out the game, I've seen the movie twice. My mom and my dad played by the rules and they got burned. My grandparents had, thank God for their kids. They play by the rules. Everybody ain't got a bunch of money to show for it. They did the 40-40-40 club. I work 40 hours a week, 40 hours a year. Hopefully in retirement, I can live off 40% of what I couldn't get by on for 40 years. So I'm supposed to bring out be negative 100 grand, go do something for 40 years that they didn't like, and they got nothing to show for it. See, the light bulbs are going off. Then I was like, you know what? Let me do some investigation. I got time. I don't have to rush. Let me do some investigation about outcomes and different paths. And I'm going to get real deep. And I was like, all right, what besides that, what else to do? Okay, there's entrepreneurship. And I was like, cool, entrepreneurship, there's only 1% going down that road. But why people don't go down that road, and then what other opportunities they are. And then everybody's probably heard of Warren Buffett. And then I was reading a book and I saw this quote from Warren. Warren says, if you can solve the problems of many, you will be blessed tenfold. And I was like, oh, okay. For me, my mentorship and my philosophy has been simple. If they got a bigger bank or bigger account to me, and I'm listening. I ain't got no ego, no pride. You have something that I don't have. You have knowledge that I need to get to apply. So then I went looking deeper and said, okay, cool. Can I help monthly? Okay, business, there's a lot of things I can help with. He's in the finance. Oh, then I just go through. People got debt. People don't have, our community have no life insurance. We do fish fries and car washes and barbecues. And now we do GoFundMe. GoFundMe is not life insurance. Okay, my generation has a bunch of debt. A lot of people don't know how to credit. People don't know how to buy a house. People don't understand Social Security. People losing 401k. I'm just going through the list. I'm like, look at all these things. Ooh, if I can help people solve all these problems by helping them get what they want, in turn, I'll get what I want because I'm adding value serving people. Okay, entrepreneurship. Okay, all right, cool. This is the way that looks like. All right, this is the way out. Then I was like looking deeper. I was like, I got it. We're playing the game backwards as Americans. America was never founded with employees. The tax code was never made for employees. You go to 776, there was no employees in America. Some of you are looking at me like, bro, come on, how you really gonna say that? There weren't. They were free labor. They looked like me and you. You don't need a tax code for free labor. So the tax code was invented for who? Entrepreneurs, investors, business owners, people on land. So if our country is founded on that and the rules have been based on that for multiple, almost 200 plus years now, why do we live here, grow up, and go get a job when they had to add in the employee tax code? See, that's the difference. People, when they fight to get to America, they don't come over here to get a job. Go ask other cultures, what do? They come to America to do what? Start a business. Because they know the tax laws favor the business owner. You keep more of your money. The government wants to do, there's two things the government don't want to do, and you'll get to keep most of your money. If you give people housing, you get to write off almost everything. Because if I give people housing, I'm allowing people to rest their head, to go get a job, to go earn a living, to go spin and stimulate the economy. If as a business owner, I allow people to come work at my firm, significantly increase their cash flow, to make more money to go buy a property or to take care of their kids, that's stimulating the economy. The government doesn't want to do two things. They don't want to worry about jobs. They don't want to buy housing because they're not good at that. Government's good at a couple different things: defense and basically certain social issues. There's a couple things a government don't want to deal with. They don't want to deal with housing. They don't want to deal with jobs, and really don't want to deal with healthcare. They just run a business and defense. That's really what they want to do. But everybody wants them to do everything, and nobody can get happy with how things get done. Well, you're asking somebody to do something that's not really what they're supposed to do. But if you're operating in a business system as an employee, you're mathematically already stacked against the debt. Because you're working in a system that has limitations. Well, I want to be financially independent. Well, my boss only give me 20 hours. So your boss only allow you, if you combine it, 1 day a week to work. 20 hours, there's 24 hours in a day. You only working 20, 40 hours a week. That's 2 days. You spend money 30 days a week. 30 days a month. You're not making the money 30 days a month. So if money's coming out of your account 30 days a month and then money only comes in twice a month, the math right there alone tells you, like she said, well, there's more month than money. So right then and there was never a tax code made for employees. They had to add that in, just like with everything else since they've made since then. So if we have the rules, I just basically said, hey, I'm going to go participate in the side that wasn't taught. If I go do entrepreneurship and run a business, I get to pay taxes as a business versus individually. And then if I have investments, I pay taxes at that rate versus the employee rate. Some people, billionaires got all the cheat. No, they playing a different game. They're not doing anything malicious. They're not cheating. The IRS, y'all wrote the rules. I hired a professional to tell me the rules. And then how do I make more money and keep more of my money based off their rules? Bet. The same thing is, hey, this is how you play Uno. This is how you play spades. I guarantee if you take the same energy to go learn the IRS codes and investments, you'll be wealthy. Because you got money to play to take people's money in spades and dominoes. But it's not satisfying. It's boring. It's not sexy. It's not hip. It's not hot. See, we
prioritize. Earlier, I thought about job means just over broke.
Or another one, jail operating as a business. For real, think about it. You got to eat lunch. You got to be somewhere on time, and they let you out. When they let you out, and you got to ask the guard for something. You got to ask the boss for something. If you spell boss backwards, double SOB. There's nothing wrong with being an employee. There's nothing wrong with that. But if that's the only thing you're doing, you're not taking advantage of a system living here, you're mathematically setting yourself up for failure. And then just watching it, well, why everybody else getting rich? Well, you know what? I'm not worried about that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get 10, 15, 29, power 30, hopefully pray they call my 5 numbers tonight. And then go keep playing. Well, if you just pick 4 or 5 companies you spend money with and put $1 in them every single time instead of buying a lotto, which is just going to state taxes, open an account, boom. This research is on the phone. You can buy companies for $1. If you use Apple technology, buy $1 Apple every week. You'll make more money than the lotto. AI, everybody's talking about, oh my goodness, AI. Why don't you, instead of looking up, what's the negative news site or whatever, the Shade Room, instead of spending time on the Shade Room, why don't you go look at all the AI companies that are making robots and stuff like that and go and invest them and sit and watch them, let them make you money for the next 10 years. Oh no, I gotta watch out who's dissing who on this hip hop record. Basketball wives. We distracted. That's the problem, Carolyn. We not it's not a time issue or skill issue. Because if you think about it, anything that we put our minds to, we dominate the space. That's why they limit it from us getting included. Look at every sport or anything that we got in. Look at golf. Who dominates it? Woods. Who dominated baseball before? African Americans. Look at the NFL now. Look at NBA. They didn't start as black leagues. But I don't want us thinking that that's all it needs to be for us to make money in the world. You don't have to be an athlete or an entertainer, but we gifted though. We creative, we're gifted, we're smart, we're talented. If anybody says otherwise, it's just a lie. We just glorify those things more than the black doctors, the black teachers, the black engineers, or the business owners. That's the funny part is having money and not knowing anybody know you got money. You can go anywhere in the world. That's the best part of having money. I remember the days where I had ramen noodles, eating sausage and eggs at night, but I had a game plan. I made it was going to be hard no matter what. Choose your heart. Mentally, my thing is more so, okay, I can be disciplined and focus for 2 to 3 years, or I can struggle for 40, 50 years. Either way, it's going to be hard. Like Muhammad Ali said, if you already going through hell, get a reward out of it. So currently, it's really just have a game plan. Make it a focus. Have a game plan. Know what you want. The clearer you are about it, the better you're going to get. But then also every single day, get up and make just 1% better each day. Crawl. But most of us, really what it is, we have a cash flow problem. That's the only, every problem, if you write down what's your top 10 problems, I guarantee 90% of that list has money related to it. So it's a cash flow problem. So a lot of I sit down with a lot of our sisters. They go to school to get educated. They got educated in things that don't pay nothing. So now as I got all these debt, it doesn't pay anything. Nothing wrong with higher education, but that higher education, you can't just be going to go. You got to treat it like a business investment. I'm investing in myself. What's the rate of return on this piece of paper for the next 10 to 30 years? Can it be replaced? Can I also take this skill set for 4 or 5 years at a job and then go create my own black business out of it? That's really what a job should be. Let me go work at this job and let me see how they work their marketing, how they treat their employees, how they do their HR, taking notes. Okay, cool. I'm going to take this information and how they run a business so I can go run my people. So I know how to hire people. So I know how to run my own organization, how to get clientele. That's what the job is supposed to do. It's supposed to be your first business partner. It's not supposed to pay your wage. And then the last thing before we go to the next subject, the real thing that made me shift outside of learning the system of what the country's founded on is this. I've realized I was, excuse my French, but I've realized I was getting pimped. I'm working for a company. I'm giving them my labor. They give me a paycheck. But the owners and all the corporations and everybody, they getting bonuses. They got stock options. They making money off my time working there every single week. I give them their time. They building what? I'm building their harvest. So then you got a paycheck. No, I didn't get a paycheck. You know who got my paycheck? My bills. Paycheck ain't going to no investments. It's not, I'm just working enough. I got my money's going to the rent. So whoever owns the rent, my car payment, AKA the bank, my utility companies, the credit card, the grocery store. So I'm just residual income for everybody. My job, I'm the residual income. I show up, I help them increase their capital and their stock. If I show up and get a paycheck, my apartment they rent the first of every month. I got to pay my gas bill, my light bill, the groceries. So I was like, that was just I was like, man, I'm residual income for everybody. I ain't got no residual income for me. And if I get sick or stop working, I'm in trouble. So seeing that plus the rules, plus like, you know what? I'm going to go be residual income for myself and my family and my kids versus being everyone else's residual income. That was the mind shift. And that's the difference. We getting up to go get everybody else paid. We're not making any money for our last name.
And see, the thing is, I've looked at what you're saying, but to hear you say it, it's like, oh my God, the situation is worse than what I really see it. And it's like, I think you said earlier, how can you take care of something when you're in the midst of it? You got to go get help. That's what's stuck with me.
You got to grow. The OU won't make new money.
Mm,
The person
mm-hmm,
that creates the problem can't solve the problem.
mm-hmm.
But pride and ego gets in people's ways, especially men. We don't like asking for help. So every time when I sit down with fellas, I'm like, here, hey, I'm your friend. My job is to put money in your pocket. So I don't, I'm going to give it to you real, because we don't know. We are born when an expiration date. We don't know what the expiration date is. So my job is to get you to as fast as possible to what makes you happy. Whether you're willing to do it or not is a whole different situation. My job is to help people get to where they want to go. I don't know how long people are going to be here for, depending on the age. I don't know how much they have left. But a lot of times when we go through, the reason why I wake people up is a lot of times is we're procrastinating, thinking we got time, but forgetting that some of our dreams and goals, time is running out. My mom lost everything. I'm the retirement. I can't go baseball. I'm in my 20s. No, my mom is about to be in her 40s and then 50s and 60s. So if I don't win, she loses. So I have to be successful. So she's successful. So then all of the late nights, all of the extra shifts, feeding me and everything after they lost everything, then losing my dad, if I don't become successful, all that goes to waste. So for me, it was if I am her retirement plan, because either way, it's going to fall on me if she ain't got no money. So a lot of us as kids, we're thinking, oh, well, I'm in my 20s, stuff. We're like, wait a minute, if our mom and dad ain't got nothing, who's coming? What they going to do? Because a lot of people say, wait a minute, how does a single mom raise 3 kids, but 3 kids can't take care of one mom? Because we have more money in our closets than we do in our accounts in our pockets. We care more about what people see on social media, about what we're driving, versus focusing and embracing how much we have saved. It's all the mindset. It's a priority. The number one nation in the world. Carolyn, do you know what the number one nation in the world is?
I think it's us, United States. Well, it used to be us, I know.
The number one nation in the world is procrastination. Because everybody procrastinates what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get to it later.
Yeah.
Wealthy people make decisions fast. Broke people make decisions slow. Say it again. Wealthy people make decisions fast. Broke people make decisions slowly. Well, I need to think about. What is it to think about? You don't have money. You don't have the credit you want. You're not driving what you want. You're not living what you want. So for however long you've been doing that, you've been thinking about it, and that don't work. It hasn't worked for you. So obviously you need to take action and make a different course. There's no more thing to think about it. There needs to be active, constructive change. The mental part of it is more so we don't talk to each other. We don't have anybody to go mentorship and all that. There's no example. When I mentor kids and folks and stuff like that, I tell them, like, hey, whatever you're doing, look 10 to 20 years ahead. If they have the lifestyle that you want, pursue it. If that's not the life you want, then pivot. But then when you get feedback about going after your dreams, if they don't currently have any expertise in it, if they don't have the income that you want, or they don't have the lifestyle that you trade places with, don't give it any, respectfully listen, but don't give it any credibility. There's a lot of people when I start my business, oh, that won't work. Oh man, Black people don't care about investing money. We're 13 years in now. Why would I take advice from an employee about how to run a business? For a lot of us, we want to start a business, but we have naysayers that their shortcomings are but projected on ourselves. So That I would just say that's the main thing. You have to have a plan. You have to take action, and you have to have sacrifices. It's not forever. It's a season. I put my hobbies and my things that I enjoy on a side for a season because when I have money, I can enjoy them forever versus negotiating can I enjoy them or not. It's much more fun to enjoy your hobbies and stuff when you ain't got to look at the price. All of us been to a restaurant. A lot of times we look at the right hand side first before we decide what we're looking at to eat. And a lot of times we just look at that first page which says appetizers and salads, and we don't look at the entrees, even though we want the entree. It's very different going in knowing you get what you want, and then when it says market price next to it, that's fine. Just bring it out. But you have to understand where you're going. If you focus on your current situation, you can't get what you need to go because that's all you hear about and talk about. Your job, people don't understand how much their job controls them. Controls what you eat, where you live, what you drive, the school your kids go to. So if you're spending most of your day at a place that controls everything and is not positive, what do you think your environment's going to be?
Toxic.
Because you're listening to yourself instead of talking to yourself.
Mm.
So mentally, are you listening to the lies your brain and your head is telling you every day, or are you telling yourself the greatness about yourself? See, just because I had 20 cents in my account doesn't mean I was broke. My account was broke. My mindset, my work ethic wasn't broke. My abilities wasn't in a place to get me to where I need to be. But if I listen to myself, all you nothing, all you got a couple of dollars to rub, all you don't know nothing about money. Those are all lies. That's not truth. The higher power knew who I was before I was born. We were great. We just don't understand it yet. We listen to all the lies as we grow up and the shortcomings of everybody else. For example, everybody, when you're a kid, probably people say, "Oh, you're shy, you're shy." You hear it 200,000 times. You go, well, "I must be shy." Versus like, no, I'm just confirming the words I'm hearing repeatedly and I'm affirming it. It's a higher power for mental. Are you looking at your vision? Are you saying affirmations? Do you do your self-talk? Do you journal? So if you journal about your goals, you talk positive about yourself, you see yourself in the best image and the image that the Lord sees you in, then everything about you is temporary. So when I started talking to myself instead of listening to myself, I didn't believe my situation because that was my temporary. My long-term situation was going to be in a peaceful situation. That's the difference, Carolyn. Martha was like, if you don't have a plan and you don't have a healthy mindset, of course everything's going to be negative and toxic. It's draining because you're living it and then you're talking yourself down every day. And then you have other people talking you down. It's just like you just getting punched in the face all day long.
And and I'm sitting here thinking because you know, before I really started becoming more aware of money, I used to wonder why people would get rich so quick, win the lottery, and then all of a sudden, the next time you hear, they're worse off, they're broke and worse off than they started before they got the money. I could never understand that until I think last year when I saw something or read something, and it was like they had poor money management skills, or however you want to say. So they just ran through the money. And I was like, oh, that's why.
You know that's a lot, right? How you gonna have poor management skills, but you know exactly where you spent the money? No, you just made bad decisions and choices because you looked up exactly what you're buying. I ask people all the time, what was the last meal you bought? They can describe it to a T. Oh, I had this. It was like, well, how did it taste? Yeah, man, it looked so good, and the size and the season and flavor is good. I recommend going. Cool. How does your 401k work? Man, I don't know. Did money just comes out? I don't know the match. I don't know how it works. I don't know what invested in. So when you buy food, you know everything from A to Z. But when they take money out of your paycheck, you have no idea how it works. So when you spend money, you want to know exactly what you're getting. You know it to the T. I know exactly the car, the details, the clothes, the shoes, the designer, the shoe size. But when money gets taken out of a check for my 401k or my pension, I don't know. It just comes out every 2 weeks. You didn't give it time and effort because that money's making you money. It's supposed to be. Everybody write this down. Every dollar that you have saved is an hour in the future you don't have to work. Every $100 you have saved is a day in the future you don't have to work. Your job is to have your friend. Your job is to have your money making friends. Or if you want to get it, your money need to be making babies. But if you don't put it anywhere, the shoebox ain't gonna make no money. Oh, the government gonna get your stuff. No, you just don't know the rules. The white folks ain't worried about no damn government. They play by the same rules you got. They got the same tax code. The only difference is they're utilizing. You're not utilizing it. We being ignorant. White man, white man, white man. No. White man ain't saying that about the NFL. When you throw the ball around, they just figuring out, okay, cool, you're gonna throw the ball around. Your agent gonna get 5%. Uncle Sam will get 35%. Your manager gonna get 10%. Oh, the financial advisor gonna get 40%. Oh, then we know your mama and everybody gonna ask you money. Then you're broke in 3 years.
Yep.
Oh, to Carolyn, I was like, I keep it real with our people, and that's why they respect what we do, because our main mission is no family left behind. I want every family to be financially independent and at least be debt free. I don't want our people owing anybody money no more. I wake up every day to try to close that wealth gap between our community and other communities. That's my main priority. Getting information in front of people, because I know if they don't owe nobody no money, there's no stress. If there's no stress in the house, health improves in our community. If there's no stress in the house, everyone's mentally is going to be healthier for decision making. There's no stress in the house because of money. Guess what? We stop divorcing. Go look at the numbers for a couple that's making money versus a couple that's not making money. Look at the divorce rates. And let's talk about it. Do you want to talk about relationships too? Because that has a lot of mental. Stop fighting with each other. It's a cheat code to do things together. I don't care if somebody's doing 10%, 90%, 50%. As a couple, we doing 100% regardless. Who cares who's making the most money? Do we want to win together or we don't want to win together? And leave social media out there to have nothing to do with your relationship. The 50-50 stuff, or he got to be making money, I need my bills paid. All the nonsense you see on social media is meant to distract you and to separate you in a relationship, because you're listening to outside noise versus focusing on your own house. Find somebody that you like. That's the main thing. You need to like the person. Have common interests and figure out what the vision you want to set, and then go build the money. So much on social media now with the men and then the women, a lot of that stuff is not real life. And we're just buying into negative conversations. So we don't even like conversating with each other because we already make assumptions. When we already got to deal with everything else against us, and now we fighting in time because we're listening to gossip versus just focusing on, I like you, boom, boom, let's do something great together. Hey, I make more money, I can handle this right now. You're making more money, cool, this is my contribution. Because this is the destination we're trying to head to. It's not like who's making more money so I can have everyone's chasing lifestyle versus chasing significance. I don't care about lifestyle. I care about significance and legacy. If I handle my significance and my legacy of serving people, you're going to have whatever lifestyle you want. But everybody's trying to flex on everybody instead of everybody's trying to build something significant that's meaningful. The social media world is not real, because also social media will tell you everything about any other subject and you think it's real. It's not. Most people ain't on social media. People that got money ain't online arguing about people in the comments. Goes with the other things too. So that's the first thing, relationship. And there's another subject that we can talk about, but go ahead. So Karen, that was a so I'll make sure you good on that.
I'm good. I mean, I, I just let's take this way. 25-year-old,
Hmm.
5-year-old male. You come upon him, and how would you coach him? How would you? Because it seems like you do some coaching, mentoring as your. How would you start off coaching him? Or
You got to know. So 25, 26 was my worst time. I had a breakup from somebody I thought I was going to be getting married with. I lost a good chunk of my business. We weren't married, but a good chunk of my business from that. And I also had a car accident that I almost died, and I had to recover from that. So those two, if it wasn't for my business, I don't know what happened. I was able to live off passive income for 2 years and not worry about anything. It's another reason why a job's not going to let you do that. So as a 25-year-old, I would just say, what is your purpose for life? What do you want? Who's the next version of yourself? See, we're constantly under construction. If you're not growing, you're dying. Martin Luther King said more so most people are dead about 21, 25. They just wait to get buried because they stop growing. Simple as that. Most people just stop growing. Man, ask somebody, when's the last time they read a book? You want a secret, put it in a book. What I would do, so pencil for me, how I became successful is I got rid of all my video games, and the money I made from the video games, I went and bought 60 books on Amazon. I became friends with the people in the books. I'm basically getting their knowledge and having a conversation with them by reading books and listening to audios. So personal development is one thing. You need to be personally become the best version of yourself. There's no sense of being a high earner and a $1 daddy. What's the point if you make 100 grand? You don't take care of your kids. And a lot of people say that black men don't take care of kids. That's another stigma. That is a flat out lie. We let stereotypes define us. That's not true. There's a lot of black men and women that take care of their kids and do it well, despite the odds. There's a lot of black healthy couples as well. So we buy into negativity versus seeking the positivity of us as well as a people. One negative rumor will spread 100,000 times faster than a significant truth about somebody. Just think about anybody of significance, and we can think about right now all the gossip that's going around about Diddy. What is true or not true, how you feel about him, rumors flying everywhere. Until that's confirmed, whether you like him or not, the man still gave money to black HBCUs. I'm not supporting anything that is bad or something, but at the end of the day, I'm not denying he did give money to the schools. He did probably put economy and stuff like that. But we just tear him down because it's easy to do and stuff like that. It's the hot topic to bury somebody. Look what we did. Look what we did as a community to Will Smith. Look how our community tears down Sister Harris. But then when you look at the facts, see, we got to look at men, black men at 25, and then women as well. Just know you're gonna have naysayers and haters, regardless of what you do. You can't please everybody. Don't try to. Focus on where you want to go, personally develop. Focus on your health. Understand how money works. And then there's 3 categories of friends that you need to define ASAP. You have your entertainment friends. They're only good for entertainment. Basically spending money, going out, doing foolishness, boom, that's it. That's all. You got to put those people in that box. If you're spending most of your time with entertainment friends, you're not getting anything significant, but just have a good time and that's it, and some memories. The second group of friends that you need to have is your contribution friends. They're focusing on contributing to society, contributing to a cause, contributing to something to better other people's lives. These are people that shoot like someone like you, Carolyn, contributing to your community on mental health, how you can collab with somebody, or this cause, or this mentoring kids, or giving back to the community. You want to hang around those people because they're going somewhere, they're doing something to help other people's lives. But the third group that you want to have is called your growth friends. People specifically focus on growing, like-minded people whether they're doing what you're doing or not. If they're in the same business as you, boom, there's two people that like-minded people going the same direction. You guys can grow together. Second thing is more so with the girlfriends is no matter what you do, they are your biggest celebrator. They want you to win. They accomplish everything you do well. They celebrate your victories. So those three categories right there, I tell people you need to figure out, you need to qualify every one of your relationships. Every relationship's not here for you to be with you for you the rest of your life. Some people are in a relationship just for a season. They were just for you for grade school. They were just for you at that one job. But you need to figure out and spend most of the time with people that are making contributions and growth, helping you grow and succeed. But then when you qualify your relationships, are they making deposits in your life or just taking withdrawals from your life? See, a lot of people around people that only come around to take withdrawals. They don't add value to your life. They don't add, any time or anything or sacrifices. They just take. But it has to go both ways too. So if you see somebody that's like, you know what, they don't really, they always ask me to go do things for them. But if I ask them something, I get a little bit pushback. You just got to just love them from a distance. So I would tell, that's what I was told at that point at 25 when I was going through that change. And then one of my mentors is maybe just like, hey, you're going through a lot of change right now. I was like, I'm just going to tell you something. No relations with the other partner for 18 months. No relations with another opposite sex for 18 months. Just focus on growing and finding out who you want to design yourself as a man. The person you are will attract whatever you need. So go focus on all the areas, becoming the best version of yourself. So as a 25 or anybody at any age, write on a piece of paper when you walk in the room, do you add lightness and energy into the room or do you suck the energy out of the room? And then when you walk out of the room, does the energy come back in or does the aura of how people feel about your presence keep the room lit? See, a lot of people, they walk in and then the energy shift, like, oh, here's so-and-so versus like, oh, everything lights up like, oh, they here. And then when it walks out, everybody's like, woo, thank God they're gone. That's a you thing that a lot of people don't, they're smelling their own things. They don't know what's going on. They don't know that they're the ones that's the negative energy. So I would say that those are the main priorities that you would have. And then love your family. You're only given the set of family. Call your parents every day. There's gonna be a time when that number not gonna pick up. That voice, you ain't gonna hear it no more. Grandmother Sue. Call your peoples. Tell them I love you. Thank you. And forgive anybody that's done you wrong. Whether you believe they did you wrong, did not. It's Bible, it's biblical. By forgiving them, it takes the pressure off you. Whether they did you wrong or you did them wrong, by doing forgiveness, you lift that pressure off you. You don't have to forget, but forgive. Because if you by understanding what it is, you don't put yourself in that situation again. But forgive them take that energy and that stress and that resentment outside of it so you can free yourself. That's what I would tell.
Topic there. That's a real hot topic.
Told you, Colin, do a series.
Yeah, it's a real hot topic because it, like you said in the beginning, it really takes a total mind shift with dealing with anything new, but specifically money. But money touches everything or the lack of it. And so if you're going to do a mind shift, you can't still be over here filled with unforgiveness because it takes root. It gets worse. It turns into bitterness and wrath, and you can't still move forward and you're living in unforgiveness.
Because you keep thinking about the past where you can't move forward. There's a reason why it's called the past. You're supposed to leave it there. The future's in front. The front shield is better than the windshield for a reason.
And then a lot of us move out of our emotions. So we spend money that we really don't have to spend trying to make ourselves feel better. And that's just temporary.
That's why I said the hobbies and things that make people happy, just put them to the side for a season and get to a point where you can enjoy them however you want to. But we want things now versus long term. It's only a season. Season could be a couple months. Season could be 1 or 2 years. But then also too, the another thing too that, and I've heard this one. I heard this one from Warren Buffett, and then Jay-Z remixed it as well. If you want to buy something, if you can't buy it twice, your money's not mature enough for that purchase. And I think Jay put a remix on it. If you can't buy it twice and also buy the stock, you got no business making that purchase. So that's the key. See, that's the difference. So if you want some J's, okay, you got to be able to buy 2 pairs of J's, and then the same amount of money that you spent on the J's, you need to buy the stock. How many people stop buying shoes tomorrow that they don't need? Purses. We make it every time money stops working for you. Anytime you spend money, it stops working for yourself, and it works the person you gave the money to.
This is deep. This is deep. That goes back to what you said earlier. Your money is needs to give you a return.
Caroline, I can spend a whole. I'll probably try to short this up so because I go really deep and thoroughly explaining it. But here what I mean by your money you need to get a return. Every dollar I spend, I get a return on it. So here's the simple way on it. One, this is why people have to get their credit straight, because people are playing at a whole different ball game than you. Your bills are going to come in every single month. There's nothing you can do about that. Your water, your lights, all that stuff. You got to get groceries every single month. How do you get a return on it? 2 ways. If I know I'm going to buy gas I'm in LA, so I buy gas in Costco because it's 40 cents cheaper than anything else. I shouldn't have said that because now Costco's lines are going to even get longer. So, and then if you have Sam's Club or Kroger or stuff like that, you can look up. So first thing, look up the Gas Buddy. I give you a plug. Boom, there's one. Go gas. Look up the gas prices. Go get gas. Save money. So if I know I'm going to get gas at $200 a month every month at gas, all right, I'm gonna get a Costco credit card to give me 4% cash back. And if I'm also buying gas and spending $800 a month, you best believe I have ownership in Costco. So right then and there, I'm getting a return on my money. I'm keeping their doors open. So my ownership and my net worth is going up through the stock. Then if I have the credit card, I'm paying it off. Instead of paying it with my debit card or cash, I put it on the credit card. I get points or cash back, miles for free flights, or free nights in hotels. I was already going to spend $800. I'm just putting on a credit card, getting rewards, and paying off the balance every month. And then I can take the points and get a free flight, or take the cash. And then also too, if you're a Costco member, there's 2 different memberships. I have the executive membership. So every purchase, I get 2% of every purchase I make at Costco. And they send us a reward every year. Every time we do a renewal, every 12 months, they give you a coupon to go, boom, this year, 2% of all your purchase. We just got one, $300. That paid for my groceries that month off money that I was already spending with them. So that right then and there, if I get ownership in it, I'm gonna get a return on it. If I put the things in, the reason why I put everything on a credit card is, one, the credit card's not my money, it's the bank's money. Let me go a little bit deeper because some people will take that and go run with it. What I mean by is the bank's money. If fraud or identity theft or somebody makes a purchase on that card that's not yours, they will quickly readdress it because it's their money being manipulated. If it's cash or debit card, that's your money. It will take 2 weeks for them to investigate, to decide if they reimburse you or not for the decision you made. I can go on my phone and close my credit card if I lose it, and then you'll send me a new one out. Debit card, they'll send it out, but they may not send me the money back. So I put everything on there, and I'm getting points, rewards, cash back on my bills and my expenses. So then that's
And
what it's
even insurance, and even insurance.
all of it. If it's a bill, it's on the credit card.
Wow.
If they allow it. Some places don't allow a credit card. Everything, every bill and every expense I can put on a credit card, I'm racking up points. I'm racking up free flights. I'm actually cash back on all my purchases. Every dollar I spend, I get a reward on it, a return. So then my business expenses, I'm getting deductions, write-offs on that. I'm utilizing the rules of the money game to keep more of my money, to bring more money in my household. I treat my house as a business. What do we make? What is our liabilities? What's the profit? Boom. We want to expand the profit. Here should be your simple breakdown. You should now 10%, you can agree with it or not, hiding, giving back to charity, whatever. If you give 10%, you don't worry, you'll get it back tenfold. So 10% towards tithing. You should be saving 10 to 20% towards you first. Pay yourself first, then live off the rest. A lot of us, we give money to Uncle Sam, our bills, and go make expenses and then try to save what's left. But that's the employee method. As a business owner, I get paid. We donate. I pay myself 30 to 50%. Then I have my business expenses. And then, based off for deductions and all that, then we handle our taxes in tax season. That's a simple game for that. That's a simple part about it. You should get to a point where you're saving 20, 30% of your income. If you can't do that, it's because you're saying, I don't make enough money. Well, then the answer is, I need to go make more money. It's about getting paid what you're worth. You live in America. There's no reason why people should be outworking you.
Which goes back around to entrepreneurship.
Even if you're just an investor and you have a job, the business and investing will take care of you if you invest in something long term. There's people that have jobs, but they have they work their job as a business partner to be able to invest. You're supposed to make money by income. People make money by things. What I mean by that, you make money at your job, you pay yourself first buying income, either investing long term or investing in something, a business or property. Let the property and investment boil, bake, cook, grill, whatever term you want to use, like, and then the profit from that will come in mailbox money or sleeping bag money every single month. That's what you're supposed to make to go make the dumb purchases, because it's residual income. You know you're going to get the same money again the next month. But a lot of us use the money from our job to go buy dumb things, so that we have no assets, no residual income. Go build some residual income to cancel out the residual bills. Well, I can't go. I don't want to go do that on that. Okay, cool. Then you can't complain about the situation if you know what this scenario is. You can't complain because everybody has the same rule book. How do people in other countries fight to get over here to know and then go to do the rule book that you don't want to utilize? You just don't want it bad enough. And it's not
And
about.
No, go ahead.
No, fine, cool.
And I was just thinking about when you said the people that fight to come over here, like you said, they have a plan. They'll come in and work 2 or 3 jobs, and and I don't think, they don't put their money in the bank. They, for the most part, keep cash, and they will go buy cash, pay cash for whatever it is they want: cars, houses, businesses. And I've peeped that out for years, how they just come over here and just basically dominate.
I just want everybody to understand she's not talking about one demographic. It's all demographic that are immigrants. Because their mindset is to pull the money and the resources together. They have no problem renting out a house and having 4 families in the house. some of us can't get along with our own brothers and sisters to say, hey, why don't we go rent? Why don't we go buy a duplex? You rent out one unit, I rent out the other one, then we can have 2 tenants on the bottom and they'll cover our rent and stuff like that. And then we'll live in it for 2 years and then we'll take the equity to go buy properties and then we'll have that and they'll pay for our mortgage. You're not thinking me. I don't want to collab with you because then I got to give you half the credit. See, we need it. So like if like brothers and sisters just like pour their money together and go buy a duplex or a real estate and then live in it together, they would bring down their expenses. And then as each one matures and stuff like that, they can move out and then they can rent out the room and then they have a residual asset that will pay them divided up into the trust. Nobody's thinking like that. Those families are already thinking like that. They're thinking about everything we're going to do is together. We're going to lift up the family together. We don't care who's the one that does it. We're going to pull together. If one's successful, then we're doing all our energy to help make sure they're as successful as possible. They got a business, then we're all working in the business. The kids, the family, everything, we're going to do whatever to do because this business is going to allow us to have access to capital, have access to credit, to credibility, influence in the community. That's what they're thinking. That's why they come here to do the business. And they're building relationships in the community. They probably know somebody in the community that's, hey, go talk to this person, because they build together. If we're all on the same page as a group, we run laps in this country.
Yeah. And I've been so excited about this topic ever since the Lord gave to me over a month ago. I'm like, oh my God. This and someone was telling me, you talk about the hard stuff. Yeah.
Yes, we need to.
We've been pacified for so long and sweeping things under the rug and it's time out for that. We're in 2024. And money is a hard topic to talk about.
The money is the only reason why it's a hard topic to talk about because ain't nobody got nothing to talk about. The topic's not hard. We just don't want to talk about it because there's nothing to talk about. It's what's positive about it. When you don't have no money and everything you've seen is negative and I owe money, I got debt, I have bankruptcy, and I owe this money and I'm broke. I don't want to talk about how to make money. I just want to go try to play the lotto so I can just race my money. I can race all my problems in one night. Because when I break it down and when I sit down with folks, I keep it simple. ABC, 1, 2, 3, some pictures. And they look at me like, that's it? This is how much? It's like, yeah, this is it. 1, 2, 3, this is stuff they don't want to teach. It's like, yeah. Everybody on here and everybody that will watch this in the future, at what age did you know the difference between a $5 bill and a $50 bill? Kevin, at what age, for real, what age did you know the difference between a $5 bill and a $100 bill? At what birthday you was like, what 100? What a 20 at? 5? 10? Come on. You saying in your head, you're like, thank you, but in your head are like, oh man. Then you open up one with like, oh, this one got $50 in it. At that point, you're knowledgeable and old enough the difference about how money works. They're ready for the conversation. If you get happy when you see a bigger number versus a dollar, George Washington, you know the difference between Benjamin and George. You want a lot more Benjamins. You can talk about money about that point. You can teach your kids about that. You can teach them in terms. Or, for example, how do I teach my kids? Buy them some ice cream, take the first 2 bites, and tell them that's what taxes are. They going on real quick. It's like, oh, man, that's what you got to do. That's what mom and daddy got to do.
I like that.
People say, Harlan, how do you do that for your kids? You can buy them another one. You can just say that was your candy. You just want to show them an example. But more so, we got to teach our kids from the ground. That's the only way things are going to change. Our ceiling becomes our kids' floors. As far as we go as parents is that's where the baton lands. So if they see their parents 50,000, 40,000, they think that's the pinnacle, or they're only going to go a little bit more. Because at the same time, they may not say it, but when we tell them you can be anything that you want, go after everything they want, they're in their head. They're like, the first couple of times, as they get a little bit older, when did that stop for you? They're not going to say it, but it's like, when did my mom and dad when did they stop giving up on their dreams? Because when they go to school and stuff like that, they know the difference between who has and who have nots. They know so-and-so got raggedy shoes, so-and-so don't have. Look at the car they drive. Look at the coat they drive. Like people talk about bullying, but kids are not stupid. They watch and they observe everything. That's a mini you. Good, bad, and difference. All your good habits, every bad habit, they're gonna do everything bad that you did times 10. Only difference is you know what they're gonna do because it's basically your genes and genetics. You know how they work and move. So you got to understand the example that you set. And then we're speaking about men. I know the stigma and stuff like that is, oh, there's no black fathers, there's no example and stuff like that. It's just loud. There is black men, there's black fathers. I get the shortcomings with women and stuff like that, and then the when you get in political, I get all that. I've seen it all and stuff like that. I understand it. But fellas, here's the thing we have to do for those of that are in their kids' life or ones that need to get in their life. Our sons follow the example of our fathers. How they treat their mothers is how they're going to treat women in life. When it comes to men with daughters, our daughters see the example of how they should be treated by how you treat and love their mothers. I know it's heavy, but it is what it is. The example that the sons, we follow the example of our fathers and how they treat their mothers, and that's how that's how we're raised, and that's what we think how we're supposed to be. And then daughters, they see it to whatever example is, that's basically what they're supposed to tolerate, or that's what they're supposed to be looking for. So if you don't like that, you don't like to let them make a change. If I hit you, I didn't mean to miss you. Because as parents, and there's another thing too when it comes to that, because we're talking about mental trust and stuff like that. When did it come to the point where the teachers are supposed to be raising our kids? I don't know if it changed because of stuff like that, or my generation started having more babies and stuff like that. I grew up in a generation where you got your behind whooped if you looked wrong or said something wrong. I turned out okay. And I don't mean like beat to death. It's just more so you talk out of line, you back talking your mom and dad. That ain't acceptable. Like, hold on.
And how old are you?
32.
Your generation didn't grow up like that. Go ahead. Okay.
I don't know. And I'm gonna say it, and we did. Hey, my generation did.
That's my generation grew up like that. Oh.
I know it cut off probably that first part of the 90s, and after that they thought they was slick. Mm-hmm. I just know I grew up where the neighbors, if you did something wrong, they had permission to correct it.
Absolutely.
And if you wasn't in the house when that light turned on, it was hell. If you wasn't outside when she pulled up with them groceries. If you didn't
32. Yeah, you right, because we raised you. There we go. Keep going. I'm listening.
Right? And my mama didn't play. She from Norland, so she definitely didn't play.
I'm from LA, and I definitely didn't play.
Right? So we all grew up the same way. Our grandparents had McDonald's money, and our parents didn't have McDonald's money. Then we become parents, we got McDonald's money all of a sudden. We all grew up the same life. We knew what it was. But my things right now is like, why are we expecting the teachers to raise our kids? We're supposed to raise our kids. That's why they're acting a fool. Your teachers are supposed to treat them. Oh, you muted, Carolyn. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
I was saying that when did that shift come? Where the teachers did I mean, that's disheartening. That's really disheartening.
Think about it. When did it come? It came when the government took over and started saying you cannot chastise your child, or you can't do this, because what they were doing was setting it up. It's just like the school to prison pipeline. Okay, schools are set up just like the prisons. Okay, the bell rang, doors open, you come out. Okay, you walk down the corridor to go to your next place. When you go to speak to a staff member, you don't tell that staff member your name. She doesn't even ask for your name. She says, what's your number? Mm-hmm. That's mentally conditioning a child for that. Okay, for that way of life. So all of that began when they just took all the rights away from a parent. And for those parents who followed that, it's just like a doctor. My doctor says to take this medication. Are you serious? Did your doctor tell you that while taking that medication, it was going to heal this and break down that? Did he tell you that? No, he didn't tell you that. The same with the school. Okay. that is not that teacher's place to raise your child. Now, what will happen is your child will take his or her defiant, disrespectful, rebellion behind to school and act a certain way. And then when that child is being punished, and because of the consequence of their action, you want to come and defend the child.
Yep.
You're defending bad behavior. So it just takes
Take
me
responsibility
to the Bible where God says, well, you know what? You don't want to believe that right is right and wrong is wrong. So I will allow you to think that right is wrong and wrong is right. A reprobate mind. Okay, because that's how you choose to operate. All right, you choose to operate like the man on the roof when the flood came. I done sent you a boat, I done sent you a helicopter, a plane, I done sent you everything that you need. And now that you stand here before me, you want to say, Father, why you didn't help me?
I did. I said, boom, 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 boom.
Exactly. Okay, so why are these kids the way that they are? Because parents, you sit up here and you allow the system or whatever to go ahead and do for you. It's like people these days have stopped raising their kids when a child hits 10, between the ages of 10 and 12.
I say
They
even before
stop.
that.
Okay, and then what happens is, again, these kids are left to fend for themselves instead of you as the parent, instead of you as the one who birthed them, instead of you as the one who have them being raised in your home, instead of you taking your rightful place and saying, when you walk out this door, this is how you act. Because contrary to what people like to think or say, learning starts in the home.
Yes, I do. Preach, you preaching.
Okay. Learning starts in the home. And if you're not going to show your children how to behave at home, and you're just going to allow them to just wreak havoc and all this other stuff, then you know what? The child is not the problem now. Now it's you. Now it's you. Okay. And you don't wait till a seed becomes a tree to decide to raise it.
Exactly.
That's not how you do that. So, yeah, I get that part.
Yeah, because most of the days you probably see when you're going out, people are not raising them anymore. This is raising them.
Yeah.
We didn't have we had to learn how to talk to people, and if we didn't have nothing to say, then you sit at the table until you dismiss. It was no plane, no phone. Like that. You sat and you had a conversation. If you had nothing to say, you ate your food, you sat at the table, and you was disciplined.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's just learning how to conversate with people, and you talk to people, stay in a child place.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Yes.
But it just comes down to what is the standard that you're setting in your household and the family. That's the key. That's what's missing. We don't have standards anymore. We're not having those conversations. I couldn't leave the house Saturday until after I had an hour and a half lesson with my mom talking about Black history. She's like, I know you're going to learn some stuff in school, but I'm going to teach you what's really going on. You're going to know all the laws and everything because there's a playbook for the country and there's a playbook for you. I'm not going to be here every day. So every Saturday, it was 2 hours going through all of the history, the real history, and our history, and how things really work and what you need to be. So she didn't play. She still don't. But now it's like, hey, that same energy you had with me when we have grandkids, no, I don't date. There's no more McDonald's money. Same thing. You always, she's like, I don't care. It's my money. It's like, no, it's not, because technically it's mine.
Absolutely.
It's technically mine because I'm the one putting the money in there the first of every month when you retired. So technically, no, you could go do whatever you want for you because you deserve it. But them kids, no, they don't get the McDonald's money. And if you whoop me for it, if they do the same thing that I did, if I got a whooping, they get a whooping too. And I was like, I know you're not gonna do it, but I just want to let it out that I said that you have permission to do that. But yeah, that's the era they grew up. We were used to going outside. We didn't stay inside and all that stuff. We had conversation with people. We knew our neighbors. Our neighbors watched us like they're the parents, and then they had permission to guide us and raise us just like our parents did. Everybody looked after each other. It was a community. Now people, you don't even know your neighbors. You don't even talk to them. You barely look at them and say, hey, how you doing? Good morning. Everybody's stuck on the tube and the internet and forgot what real life is. But then also, too, if you can figure out the social media and all that stuff, you can figure out money. There's no excuses. For example, and I'll finish with this because it relates to mental health and financials. For the amount of the time that people have been distracted the last it'll be 4 years in November. The amount of resources that's been put out under this administration that nobody knows about is just flat out sad, especially mental health. The amount of money that was been passed. And then when we talk about collab, like a lot of, I know people not going to study, it's boring. But if you're taking money out of my paycheck, you best believe I'm going to read these bills. Or I'm at least going to get the cliff notes. I'm not going to let social media tell me who, what, and stuff like that. I'm going to let the news parole, but I'm not taking no news because they're not reporting everything. You can go you can look up your district and what got passed in your district. We don't participate. See, these other cultures, they go to school boards and participate in them school meetings. So that's why they get the resources and the funds. Why I got to work in 2 jobs. Figure it out, make it a priority. We got to start representing at the school boards. We got to start participating locally, because when you really want to think about money, the federal government passed a bill. Your governor and your mayor determines how the money gets spent. Well, we got potholes. Oh, Biden and Trump ain't doing no money for. They passed the bill. Your governor said it wasn't a priority. Your representative, who you vote or didn't vote, sends the ticket out what things get funded in the community for federal funding. Then you got state budget. Who you voting for the state local? Who you voting for locally? It's not just 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. That's why there's multiple branches in government. Well, the White House passed this, but it got rejected. Who rejected it? The Supreme Court. Is the Supreme Court aligned with the person in the White House? No. So then why are you blaming the White House when the Supreme Court blocked what you wanted? Well, I didn't know it worked like that. So then why are you giving blame for something you didn't know about? Well, they said they was going to give us student loans. They did. But you didn't vote 4 years prior, so the folks that were going to give it to you blocked it. Oh, we don't have access to mental health. Who cut it? Go back to the 80s. Who's in White House in the 80s when they cut all the mental health facilities and funding? It's not a red versus the blue thing. It's just facts right now. Go look who the president was. Everybody know who he was because everybody that side of the aisle talks about him all the time. And you can see all the psych wards and all the mental health and all the resources got cut out. And you can see HIV went through the roof during that time. Because anything for medical and mental health got cut. And it's been a trickle effect. But then now, oh man, we got to prioritize opioids and all that because who's over dramatically dying from it? Oh, now we're going to put some funding into it. But then a lot of folks, we hear a lot of noise. It's like, well, it don't say black. So it's not for me because it's not black only. It's constitutionally against the law to have something for one group. So they have to name it. It can be focused where the money goes to us, but it's not going to say the Black People Bill. Stop being ignorant about government. The bill is passed for us, but they can't say this is for Black folks because then we know who's going to try to overturn it. Why do you think all the red states are trying to sue the student laws? Pell Grants mean HBCU money. Who's second in command? Who is second in command and went to HBU? Who slid in? Make sure the Pell Grant get in the bill. Oh, she be laughing and all that. You don't read. You don't understand the game. See, when you don't understand America, how the money system works, you don't understand the political system, you don't get nothing. If you don't participate and know the rules, you can't get anything. Well, we want more things for mental health. Did you vote locally, statewide, and federally to make sure that they get the money in your community for all the things that you wanted? Did you go donate? Did you go give time? Did you go volunteer? Or did you just stay at home and just complain and didn't participate? Did you get in a better financial? Did you donate money to the cause? See, when you go through down that list, you know who's really serious about progress and who just wants to talk. Going back to the beginning with reparations, people just thought, we want our money. Why you want your money? Well, because it's owed to us. So what are you doing to do that? Well, you want somebody to do something knowing that there's 6 judges that's never going to allow it. So then you say, I'm not showing up this November. We didn't get reparations. Why is the man going to waste his time knowing they're not going to allow it? Whether they want to do it the same thing whenever the people, Obama didn't do nothing for black economics or mental health or healthcare. So we just saying things, or we saying the facts? Because politics goes in everything in this country. If you come to this country, you need to understand the rules to everything about politics. You need to get involved. You need to get your money up. Because it's this year alone, if you don't understand the rules, you're going to lose. With AI coming massively fast, I want everybody to go look at the 2053 project. 2053, go look at what the estimated black wealth is supposed to be projected in 2053. AI is coming and it's been here already. It's being accelerated now. Most of the jobs that we have as a community is customer service, retail, or labor jobs. Robots are coming to replace you. If you don't, so as an employee, if you don't get a business, you don't get your money right, or you don't get a skill set, you will be replaced. We have to wake up and band together and push whoever's in Congress, up and down, or the White House, push for what we need to do. But you need to understand that one person ain't going to save everything. They can't. That's why it's multiple. Anything extremely pro-black, you've seen that 6 judges are overturning everything. And everybody's figuring out like, oh, snap, maybe we should have did something when the white lady that was over-prepared warned us about it, but we didn't like her. My job is not, that's another thing. Our job is not to like them or be entertained by who's in politics. They are there to get us and represent and do a job. Understand, it's a business transaction when you're in that booth. The only reason why I'm getting political about it is because the money is attached to the resources that we both talked about tonight. You want equity, you want resources for better housing. If people have access to low cost living or better affordable living, guess what happens with the mental? Better. When people have a house versus owning or renting an apartment, their livelihood goes better. The neighborhood is better. Well, what about access to student loans? We already have that on the board. Imagine, go ask anybody that had their loans forgiven in the last 4 years how they feel mentally and financially right now that burden got released. This week alone, he found another loophole. If you pay back what you took out, if anything above that is strictly from interest, I'm waiving it. You've already paid back what you took out. You don't need to pay except for interest. Most people didn't know about it. The first year that they got in, relating to what the subject we're talking about, mental health, most people still don't know about this. The first year that they were in office, this is something she was trying to do when she was a senator, when they said, oh, she not for us. They passed a bill where the debt on medical bills is not reported on your credit anymore. Overnight, people's credit scores went up from that, but nobody knew anything about it. The media didn't report it. I had clients who was like, wait a minute. And then when it looked up, I was like, oh, it's not reported on. Oh, my credit went up. I'm like, yeah, you can thank sister for that. Because I remember when she wrote the bill. See, as a business owner and investor in this country, I also got to understand who's passing what, because what's coming out of my pocket. My job as a business owner for my staff and my employees, but also to my business partners and also to my clients, teaching them how to invest, what's going to happen with their tax rates. So I'm not just watching it because I like one side. No, I'm watching the game and the chess move they're doing with our money. My job isn't to like them. This ain't my mama. I don't need to like my mama, my wife, and my God. Those are my 3 bosses in my calendar. That's it. The White House, your job is to move things I need to move. And then my representative, your job is to bring that money back to my district. And your senators, like, we need things done in our state. Well, these are the resources. These are the programs. See, that you need to start talking that way. You need to start showing up and not going to go into the town halls. See, a lot of people want to blame things on one party, not knowing that the other party controls most of the state that black people live in. If you look at the South, the South took most of that money from 2020 and all that and went and built new prisons versus building pipes and Wi-Fi for what the money was originally written for, because the governor that dictates where the money goes. Alabama spent $3 million on prisons when I was supposed to go for Wi-Fi and pipes in Jackson, Mississippi and stuff. But nobody want to say nothing. Well, Trump had his name on the stimmy. Trump didn't even want the damn thing passed. It was Nancy Pelosi that moved the money. Go look at the clipping. The McConnell says, we're not passing it. Nancy's like, the hell you not? Give the people the money. But then old boy was like, oh, wait a minute. Tell her to pass it, but delay it. Rewrite it with my name on it because I'm going to manipulate people thinking that I did the work. See, when you can follow the rule, you can't get fooled. You can't get manipulated. Understand another thing with understanding politics and when we get resources to our community. This is historical. Go look under every administration. When Republicans are in office, more big corporations get government contracts. When Democrats are in office, more small businesses get access to those contracts. And under this administration, more Black businesses have been able to bid on those contracts. That's Black progress. You got to follow the money. So the resources are there. They're not going to tell you. They don't want you to know. They hope you're being distracted. We're educated, we're ability, but we don't make it a priority. We've forgotten. We fight each other too much. We don't raise our kids. Some of you may be like, he's crazy, he's not, but more so, some of you like, he's just keeping 100. Because it's not everybody. But the loud, if we want to address the loud noise, like Karen's like, are you going with the deep talk? All right, since everybody wants to be loud about misinformation, let's be loud, but let's be loud about the truth.
I definitely agree. Well, before we end, is there one thing that you want the people to take away?
There's so many things that we need to take away with this, but the main thing is more so this. You have to prioritize. We'll start with this. You can't love anybody else if you don't love yourself. Every day you should be self-loving and self-caring for yourself. Put it in your calendar, put it, schedule it in. Self-care, self-love. You can't give that to anybody else if your cup is empty. And you can't expect anybody else to fill your cup if you're not filling it. So that's personally. For couples, I would say have your own State of the Union every month. And have conversations with each other about these areas. How is each of you doing mentally? Scale 1 to 10. Figure out where you at, where one person may be up, or 3 down. Okay. So where you at mentally? How you guys are achieving physical, your fitness goals? How is the household doing financially? How is each other family doing? Is anything going on in their family that's keeping them down, or anything on my side of the family? Cool. What's going on? Are you good there? Is the family good? Or then also to the relationship? How are we doing? Hey, did we drop the ball? Hey, I need more quality time, or I need you to say more affirmations, telling me I'm beautiful, telling me I'm handsome, stuff like that. Have that conversation. Then talk about the careers. How's your job going, or how's the business going? Is it stressful? Is it going good? Is it going bad? So you're on the same page. So that's from a couple's perspective. Understand what your love languages are. Because if you understand your love languages, you won't have miscommunication because you're only talking to them in their language. So you're always on the same accord. So that will bring down the temperature in the house as well. Because they say happy wife, happy life, and then I add on happy husband, happy home. But really more so if it's happy spouse, happy home. That's really what it is. If your other significant other's happy, the house is going to be peaceful. The energy's there. For parents, I would say start something for your kids ASAP. If you don't know what it is, seek out a professional. That's the first thing. Set up your kids. I don't care if it's $50 a month. We spend that on it. Imagine when you were born, somebody in your family started an account, $50 a month, and said you can touch it at age 25. What the difference that would have done for you? Just think about it. So I would say that I want every kid in our community, I hope they have a plan, or their parent or grandparent or somebody, uncle sets up for them, puts $50 a month in an account. They don't know where to reach out to a professional that set up. It don't have to be with me. It doesn't. I'm not expecting that. If Carolyn, if you want to ask Carolyn for information, you can ask for that. I'm not here for that. But if that's needed, boom, we'll reach out. We can help out with that. So that's for parents. Do that, but also raise your kids. Take time. Teach them about the family. How many of us don't even know what our great grandparents' face or name is? Our kids are here because think of all the generations for everybody that had to do right for somebody to birth their parents and for them to have life. Don't let your legacy just die with you. You want to make sure that your great, they remember you the one that made that change. So make sure, teach your kids about your family, and then raise your kids like life coach Bridget did today. She's like, no, we need to teach our kids, but also too, don't make sure there's quiet time. There's no screen time. Connect, pour in your kids, speak life into them, speak life into your partners. So these are all different ways mentally that would help energy wise for you. Speaking affirmations, reading the Bible if you're spiritual on that end, or meditating. But even something, if you're going through stress, 30-minute walk does so much. Go get some nature, go get some fresh air. If you're upset, pause it, get up, go take a walk. If you can't take a walk, go to the gym. Or go to your quiet place or something like that. And some people's like, well, my neighborhood, I can't go do what? Okay, go to a quiet place. That's fine. Figure out where that safe place is for you, where you can just zone out and just breathe and then intake it, because you can't make a decision. You can't make a proper decision from a down point of view. You never want to make a decision when you're upset or down. You always want to make sure because remember, don't let one bad hour become a bad year. We do that a lot, man. Something went bad, it's really one bad hour, and you let it become a bad day, it becomes a bad week, a bad month, and a bad year. And I'll end with this. This is for anybody. When we're going through challenges mentally, I heard this from a couple mentors. When something happens negatively or a problem comes up, stop what you're doing, take out a piece of paper and write a T-chart, 2 grids, boom, boom. Write 5 minutes, 5 months, 5 years. Man, my engine light comes on. Is this a 5-minute problem, a 5-month problem, or a 5-year problem? Okay, it's a 5-month. It's a 5-minute problem. Okay. Now it's a 5-minute problem. I address it as a 5-minute problem. Okay. What's the closest shop? How much money I have? Okay, cool. It's not a 5-year problem. It's not a 5-month problem. So why am I freaking out about something that's going to get fixed in the next 5 minutes? I may not have the money, but it's not going to linger for the next 5 years. So-and-so has cancer. It's not a 5-minute problem. It's probably not a 5-month problem. It's probably a 5-year problem. So I don't need to panic right now because it's not going away tomorrow. So I know we're going to have it. I'm upset. Okay, it's a 5-year problem. Okay, I got time to figure out what's going to happen, how we start preparing for things. And then I'm not adding extra trauma onto them or onto me overreacting. So anytime a problem comes out, just qualify. Is this a 5-minute problem, a 5-month problem, or a 5-year problem? And then based off that category, you give it that energy. If it's a 5-minute problem, that means you need to be addressed right then and there. If it's something that's going to linger for 5 months, then you got 5 months to figure it out. So then now you're not stressing out over a 5-year problem every single day. It's like, okay, cool. I'm going to give it the energy when it needs to get energy. It's not immediate a problem right now. That's going to get solved. Me having a water leak in my house is not a 5-year problem. That's a 5-minute problem. We need to stop the leak. I need to get my water back on. So when you do that, now you're not reacting to things. So much of things we react to it versus more so understanding and finding a solution for it. So that's how you slow down life right there. Unless it's something super extreme where like even at that point, unless you got in a car accident, then there's no 5 month, 5 years. It's 5 seconds. All right, cool, figure it out. But just know it's not going to be a 5-year problem. But if you react to it and make the wrong decisions and choices, then it can become a 5-year problem. Because you jump the gun, overreacting, not compartmentalizing the situation and understanding, okay, cool, when we gonna get through this, it's not the end of the world. Everybody that's gonna listen to this or that's on this call, we've had our worst day and survived it. We'll probably have another one and survive that too. The point is, if you do that, you'll slow down life. But if you just take the gratefulness and gratitude of something so simple as I woke up today, I already won. Nothing else matters. Everything else today is icing on the cake because I get 24 hours to talk to people I love, do something I love, or experience something I enjoy. If you keep it that simple, the mental part of it, you eliminate most of the stress and most of the problems. So people ask me how things going on. I already won today. I woke up. That's the best blessing thing that I do. I got him on my side. There ain't nothing that's going to do. So my job is just to spend 24 hours taking my gifts, go add it to that, love on the people I want to love, and do what I want to do. So that's what I would add to that, Carolyn. For every demographic, mentally, financially, and participate things that matter, get in the game.
That is absolutely awesome. I appreciate your time, your testimony, your stories, your expertise. This really went deep, and I pray that it does. Someone listens to it and start at least one of the things that you suggest. But the main thing is the mind shift that needs to take place. So I thank you again for your time, and I hope that we can come together again on this subject matter because it's definitely needed. Just one talk is not enough. Thank you so much again,
Thank you.
Mr. McLemore. I really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure, my honor.
Everybody have a good night.
You guys as well. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you for being a part of today's Black Mental Health Forum. We hope this session has been enlightening and empowering. Remember, your mental health matters, and reaching out for support is a sign of strength. If you have any questions, need resources, or want to continue the conversation, feel free to contact us. Let's keep the dialogue going, break the silence, and together build a healthier, more supportive community. Until next time, take care and prioritize your well-being.